When the Bondi Beach terror attack occurred in December, it was very quickly and rightfully portrayed as terrorism. But on Australia Day in Perth a couple of weeks ago, something occurred at an Invasion Day rally that the media was strangely reluctant to label. Invasion Day, of course, being a day for activists not to celebrate this country, but rather dwell on its dark history as a colonial outpost of oppression. You can't hide genocide, as they say. The ABC reported on this extensively. Potential explosive device thrown into crowd at Perth Invasion Day rally. Invasion Day explosive device, in quotes, naturally, hidden inside Disney frozen sock. And device allegedly thrown into Invasion Day crowd designed to explode on impact. Okay, so you can probably gather from the headlines that nothing actually exploded and nobody was killed or injured, hence the media hesitancy to use the T word. Police evacuated everyone for their own safety, giving the bomb squad a chance to investigate the frozen sock. Of course, our favourite Indigenous Senator, Lydia Thorpe, was horrified that it hadn't been labelled a terrorist attack in the same way as Bondi. SBS reported, Lydia Thorpe says attacks on Indigenous people treated as less serious following Perth attack. She said, when violence is linked to Muslims, the word terrorism appears in headlines almost immediately. But when First Peoples are targeted by white supremacists, the response is silence, minimisation and delay. And another SBS headline, Lydia Thorpe has condemned the silence surrounding the Perth bombing in a Senate motion. It's interesting how they called it a bombing, despite the obvious fact that nothing exploded. Am I being too pedantic? She told the Senate, let us be absolutely clear. This should be treated as an act of terror. It was a deliberate act of hate, directly targeting First Peoples on our day of mourning. Well, she got her wish. The ABC published this as their top story yesterday. I took a quick screenshot, as they tend to change things quickly. Invasion Day bomb declared terror act as accused pro-white ideology probed. I don't know what they're trying to do here, but it seems like they're trying to fuel a race war. Pro-white ideology? Why did they have to include that? They note that the attempted bombing of an Invasion Day rally in Perth CBD last week is declared a terrorist attack by authorities. And of course, our esteemed leader piped in, attack on Indigenous protesters allegedly driven by racism and hatred, Albanese says. Of course. Western Australia Premier Roger Cook piped in too, saying, this charge alleges the attack on Aboriginal people and other peaceful protesters was motivated by hateful, racist ideology. It's the first time such charges have been laid in WA. I know that there is anger. We have every right to be angry. Any attack on our First Nations people is an attack on all of us. Police Commissioner Cole Blanche said, there is evidence the man charged was self-radicalised and had access to male pro-white material online, and that ideology is prevalent across his access to the internet. The funny thing about all this, it took 9 days for them to declare it a terrorist attack. For the Bondi massacre, it took 3 hours? For 9/11, I think it was pretty clear by the time the second plane hit. But for the Invasion Day frozen sock explosive device that didn't explode, but might have, and was clearly motivated by pro-white male racial hatred, it took 9 days of investigation to reach that same conclusion. How could a real and obvious terrorist attack take so long to declare? I don't know, I'm just asking. Anyway, Western Australia has officially experienced its first ever terror attack. Nobody died, nobody was injured, but boy, were some people offended.